Hey guys, Worth here, Gaylor's Whalers, putting a 15 Super Sport back together. Got a brand new wood kit, did full paint restoration, fiberglass repair, stripped the hull down completely. As you can see now, it's pretty bare. New engine on it. Just got the wood packaged together against 415 Sport. Has a little rear door in it for storage. We're gonna have the fuel tank sitting underneath. My helper with me, Moose, is gonna give me a hand today. And last video I just did was we installed this front hatch, went through how to mount the hinges correctly, spaced them accordingly, and drilled it to the correct depth. So starting off here, first thing I did obviously was very carefully take everything out of the box, inspect it, make sure it was all good. Took the plastic off, inspected the wood again, everything's good, no chip stings, everything cured perfectly. So what we're gonna do here is just do a rough assembly. Put everything where it needs to be piecewise. We're not going to drill or screw quite yet. The main reason is I have another steering cable coming, so I want to make sure everything fits perfectly as far as the length goes. So that way I can slide this back and forth, an inch or two if I need to. But let's get started on that. So as you see, I got the helm here. It's kind of positioned. I've got this side piece. Let's grab the other one here. You'll be able to tell pretty easily what goes where. So in this case, these access holes, right? This is going to allow your rigging to come through the side of the boat. One of the hardest things to do these 15 Sports is hide things. Something that I really had fun doing, and I'll show you when this boat's complete. But the biggest thing is just clean, nice, easy, accessibility and where we're going to put stuff. So I'm going to slide these back. I usually get, we'll get it right there. Kind of just go ahead and just let this lean up front here, so try to be careful here with this. There we go. There's our front console. We got that sitting there. All right. Remember, this is going to be for later, but that's going to mount this side right there. Now, since there's no clear instructions or step-by-step guides, this video is going to serve as, I'm going to record the whole thing. Feel free to fast forward to the boring part. What I'm going to do is just kind of reference these pictures here online, right? So this is kind of my guide right now. I can kind of see where things are, how things are shaping up. Okay, so that looks right. All right, let's kind of get this wood put together then. So you can see the differences in the boards. There's a little notch here on these two. They're the same, so they're going to be our seats. This is going to be the back board. This is going to be the top hatch for that rear cover. So let's get this front seat sitting here. Okay, we're just kind of mocking everything up, seeing that everything fits appropriately, goes where it's supposed to. Yep, it's looking good. I'll go slide it in over here. Just because I can't remember, I believe one of these is shorter than the other, so let's double check that. Nope, they're the same. I was wrong, I couldn't remember. All right, this is our rear seat here. Just gonna pick this up. Might have to trim a little bit off of that one, but I'm gonna wait and see. All right, don't want to drop stuff. This is the top part. It's gonna sit right here. Yep, so it's right here for now. And this is our our backrest for the rear. Does not matter which side goes forward. I just say pick the prettier side of the wood grain. have a knot here in the back, so I'm going to go with this front side. So this will be sitting just like that. Right there, perfect. For now, I'm just going to set this back down. All right, I'm going to investigate a bit why this isn't fitting and get back to you guys in a second. All right, we're back. I was able to take off the top side, literally a saw blade and a half, and it fit right in. So now we're going to work on is lining up our console, how far back and forth we're going to go. So right now I'm kind of gauging it to where I have my steering cable. So I want a nice, again, this is only if you have a cable, but you want a nice rundown, everything to fit nice and snug. So as it looks right now, I like that. Gives me a little room to play with. Yeah, all right. So for me in this case, and also considering, you know, heavier, newer, modern four-stroke, typically in the past I'll line this up kind of right at the end of this little track, but for today and how I'm going to mount this boat and judging by the pictures online, this is right where I'm going to have it today. So give your passengers nice plenty of room up here in the front to place items. You can obviously remove this, have plenty of storage space, but the biggest thing is we're still going to have room in the back for coolers, getting in and out of the boat. The way I rig these boats, and I'll get to later when I mount the light post, is I like to have everything on your starboard side. That way your port side is nice and open, so easy entry and exit out of the boat for water skiing, getting in and out, letting the dog in, things like that. So I like where this is. This is great. We're going to continue mock setting this up, and we will go from there. All right, both our seats look good. Knock that into place. All right, I like that. We're gonna mock fit this top lid. Actually, let's test this first. So this is going to mount just to the back of there like that. All right, that looks good. We're going to have it up high. See, this will be mounted towards the top, so it'll be all the way up to there. Just kind of make sure everything rough fits right now. Which is looking like it is. I'm going to move this out of the way. And then obviously our top lid. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is get this mounted in. So as you can see, actually let's examine our hardware. We haven't done that yet. So let's see what comes in the kit, and that'll tell us where to go from there. Ooh, nice. So we've got our hinges. That's for the top portion of the rear cover that we just kind of mocked up. The next thing I want to see is, you know, what are our screw depths? What does that look like? So all right, perfect, perfect. Get everything organized here. Alright, so we get the gist where all this stuff is. Alright, so where to start first. Alright, so what we're going to focus on now is getting the actual console, the mini console itself, mounted to the deck. Now right now you can see all these big gaps. I don't like any of that. So obviously we want to get everything squared up, get everything where it's supposed to be wood-wise. Then we're going to go ahead and basically we want to get this all nice and pretty. That's looking better. Yeah, there we go. So everything's starting to line up nice now. So, because once we decide where this permanent location is, we're going to have to drill into the deck, which is scary. We want to make sure that that is all right. This is all square. We like where that's mounted. We're going to go and tap on that right there. Again, not an expert. I know just enough to get myself in trouble. So let's see. That's looking square. That's looking square. We're going to secure this later, just like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to bump this side back just a hair, because that looks pretty dang square. All right, I like that. So what we're going to do now is take our 3 longest screws, and these are going to be going into the actual deck of the boat. So as mentioned earlier, because we're drilling into fiberglass and we actually don't want the top part of the wood to really bite, we're gonna, oh, we weren't on that video. All right, so the biggest thing here is you want to make sure when drilling into fiberglass that your drill threads are the same exterior as the drill bit. If we were drilling into wood, we go a little smaller where it's aligned with the inside diameter of the screw, but in this case, it's going to be the exterior of the bit. And we're actually going to countersink this so the wood will be even bigger going into the fiberglass itself. So we're going to take these 2 bits and drill into our deck. Now since we're drilling into the deck, I do this, you don't have to. I also put a little bit on the bottom. I'll actually put a little bit of this 5200 just to really seal. Again, could use 4200, obviously 5200. Just to seal it in there. So let's set all this up. Have a rag handy. It always gets messy. As mentioned earlier, you don't ever want to drill screws with an impact. Proceed with caution, not smart. All right, sweet. Our holes are pre-drilled in there actually, so that's great. So let's get 3 of these. Perfect. A rag for when we make a mess. And let's hop in the boat real quick. Hey, bud. Again, everything's nice and square, lined up. I measured from the stern to the backs here. Everything's square. It's the biggest thing, just like building a door. All right, so what we're gonna do now is get down here, get this wood nice and centered up. Okay, as you can see, there's no pre-drilled holes here, but there already is pre-drilled holes here. So get this in the center. I'd say right about there looks good. All right, we're nice and centered. So what we're gonna do now is, I believe I can, yeah, we're gonna remove this. So we're actually gonna, with my right hand, I'm pressing down on the deck of where this board is. You could tape it if you wanted to, but I'm just, I'm pressing down. Just make sure that's right. All right, that's square there. We're pressing down with our right hand. We're sliding this back. All right, now you can see nothing's touching that wood. It has not moved. We're gonna set this right here for the time being, very carefully. All right, so that's where we're gonna drill into. Gonna set our drill up. Press down firmly. right, so now that's drilled. Nice holes there. So I'm gonna do, clean this up a bit, and they're not pretty. It's okay, no one's gonna see that. Is it recording? Yep, perfect. All right, so we're gonna clean up our site here. What I'm gonna do is line these holes with some 5200. Actually helps seal the wood down. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh, that's perfect. Nice. We're gonna toss that. All right, as you know, this stuff gets everywhere. Gets on you, gets on everything. So we're gonna put that just like that. All right, perfect. Remember our orientation back here, front here. Oops, forgot to put this on here. Kind of get everything started. Just going to barely get it started because we want to be sure we're pressing down as we drill in. All right, here we go. All right, that's nice. I'm gonna press down pretty hard. All right, nice and snug, and that, like I said, that glue is gonna add a little extra, really get that on there. So we didn't need this countersink. All right, now we will get this back. Make sure everything mounts up nice. Perfect, right where we had it. Nice, good fit in there. So the next part is we're gonna drill into these and mount up our console. Let's go get our right bit and the tools we need for that. All right, see, all the other screws are the same, all of them. So 3 big ones go in the deck. These are for our hinges. So we're gonna need 1, 2, 3 of these. Yep, all the same. Remember our bit. So drilling into wood, it's going to match the diameter of the inside of the screw itself. Using that 5/32 bit we used in a separate video earlier. So this one, the angles are going to be tough. The drill's really going to be on its side, but our goal is to just be as flat as possible. As flat as we can get it. Don't have to go too deep. All right. And we're just getting these snug. Alright, now our console is mounted to the deck. Awesome. On to the mounting some more stuff. Alright, now for securing the rest of the console. So, I'm going to put this up before it gets everywhere. It's already trying to. Wipe that on the rock there. And actually I'll leave that on the rock to dry. Alright, same thing, screws, same ones. We're gonna grab 3 of those. We're gonna start at the top. It's the easiest to get to. And it's that 5/32 bit we had earlier. Biggest thing here is everything's straight. Nice, even line here, flush. Everything looks good and square. Drill straight down. Don't need these anymore. I'm gonna set them over here. Nice and secure. Do the same for the front 2 here and the back 2 here. So let's get a couple more screws. And again, you know, I'm showing the whole process, but obviously you can fast forward through everything. Just a lot of times everybody wants to see every step. So feel free to fast forward if you need to. We also want to protect our wood here while we're drilling. So just be extra conscious when you're coming in here because you got to get just at that right angle. Actually, yep, there we go. We got this one just started here. Let's get it started with our finger there. Get an extension real quick. Motor. That's fine. gonna give myself a little more room for an angle. There we go. Remember, we don't want to get too tight. We don't want this washer going into the wood, creating a fracture, allowing water to get in. If you get too tight, you'll see this is where all your cracking, your finish begins to fail as moisture gets in. So just barely get it snug. Oh, look at that, everything's still square. And that's all you really need to do. Onto the back. Still looking pretty square. I don't like drilling this angle, so what I'm going to do is put an extension bit on this. Should leave that on there. So I didn't like that angle, if you guys could see it was coming in at. Always read this before. Perfect. So we got this bit right here. So a different bit goes in here, longer, better angle, much better. So as you see, this is kind of pulling in. We're gonna later secure this in right there. Remember, just get these snug. All right, well, that's all we're gonna do today, guys. We'll be back tomorrow to hopefully finish this up. All right, now we're gonna install the rear backrest. We'll need 4 of these, 12 by 1.5 screws. Now what we're gonna do here, I'll show you since I already have it in, is you want to identify the ears of the wood, which you can see here, and then I pick the better looking of the two sides. So in this case, there's a bigger knot on the back side, so this is going to be the front side that's facing out towards everybody. So that goes in just like that. See how it nudges up there? All right, we got a pre-drill again. Luckily there's already some holes here. This drill bit looks good. Yep. So luckily there's already 2 little spots here. We'll get the first one in. Remember, don't go too deep now. Don't want to go through. That's all we need. I'll show you a trick for the second one. As you saw, this drill angle. Really hard to get in there straight. So what I'm going to do is just put an extension on my impact here, and that'll give me a lot better angle in. Just like that. I'm going to do the other one on the other side. Now if you notice there's a gap right here, make sure this is pushed in when we're drilling these holes. Just like that. Again, don't use an impact. Okay, bad advice, don't do that. This one started. Press in. Alright, backrest is on. Went ahead and put in the front seat. I forgot to mention, all you do is just slide it in. There's no screws, there's nothing. It just slides in. You can remove it by pulling it back out, depending on if you want it in or not. Very easy. Pop in, slide out. It's all good. Alright, next we're going to be installing the rear storage compartment. These screws will be going into the backrest. You want to make sure you use the right screws. These are the flat pan heads they reference in your kit and the instructions. See how that? Even if we go all the way, it cannot go through the backrest. Very, very important. You can pre-drill if you want to. I'm probably not gonna do the first one and see how it goes. Alright, so remember the wood is facing the rear of the boat. You want to find something to put in the middle to help support it, so got some wood sitting here. This will be the height of your gas tank. You have a gas tank going underneath like I do. Check something in instruction. Alright, so what we do want is this is going to be, these are going to be flush with the back here. So we want this piece to come up some, just like that. So we're gonna get that right there. Looks pretty level. I'm actually gonna pre-drill these. do not go too deep here. Do the same on this end, so we're gonna come up a little bit, right to there. Yep. Alright, I'm going to put the rest in here. Calls for 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, now we're going to be installing the rear back here. Put our other drill bit back in, so 1/8. Remember, there is printable instructions on the page. So after we get this seat mounted up, this is when you go back and actually tighten all the ones on the edge there. Alright, so that's the last step here, number 11. Remember, we want these to be flush. So flush to the top right there. Yep, just like that. We're going to extend that drill bit again like we did last time. In 1 second. Alright, now we're back to the big screws. So I need that longer bit. I want this flush right there. First one in. Actually, I removed these because for later I'm doing a custom fuel tank under here, so I'm going to be cutting most of this out anyway, so I'm just going to leave these off for now, just if you noticed that in the video. Be coming back to it. Alright, we're down to the final steps here. We're going to be securing the lid, top part of the catch cover back there. We've got our 3 hinges, 2, 4, 6, 8, and the instructions. It's the older style hinges, but we've got the newer ones right here. Biggest thing is leaving a little bit of a gap. I'll show you that. But let's pick which side we like better. I like the wood pattern on this side. It looks pretty. Go right there. Make sure everything's even. Yep. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna get the middle one in first, and then go towards the ends. Now we're dropping down to a number 10 size screw. So let's check our screw size. We're gonna do 7/4. Yep, remember we're going into wood. I want the diameter of the drill bit to match the inside diameter of the screw inside of the threads. So we'll use a 7/64. Now, they're not calling for pre-drilling in this, but I think it's a good thing to do. The biggest thing is remember to leave a little bit of a gap here so it can open and close. Gonna slide it back just a touch. Right like that. Ooh, that looks really good. First hinge right in the middle like so. Yep. You can measure this if you want. I'm eyeballing it, being lazy because it seems pretty good. Remember, as with it earlier, now you see how I press down, it's moving it. We don't want that, so we want to just hold it right there. Remember, you don't want to go through this seat, so we just want to get it in there. Thing still looks pretty true. Yep, like that. there. Our gaps, little test open. Yep, got the room. All right, so now we're going to do our ends here. Right there. Do it about 1.5 inches in. Inch and a quarter in. Still looks square. Should move down a little bit. I'm gonna go right here. Right there. Yeah, like that. Alright guys, sorry about that. My GoPro died when finishing the install on the lid. So I secured the last 2 screws. Opens nice and neat. In this build, just to give you guys an idea, I hid my fuel filter, battery, primer bulb. Everything is hidden inside of here. So when I get done, I'm gonna have a nice clean rigging tube. That's the only thing you're gonna see in the back of the boat. That's the trick with these whalers, is I hate how busy the back gets. So able to hide everything in here. Cut it out custom. We'll slide this 12-gallon tank in there. Fits, as you can see, perfectly. We can still access the fill. And that's it. Now, by the instructions, the last step you're supposed to do, which I did earlier in the process, is secure the console to the side piece here. So, technically go back. This is when we'd actually pre-drill and insert those screws like we did earlier. But here it is. Your 15 sport interior install completed.